Hey there, she exclaimed cheerily. The 1960s might seem like ages ago, but you can totally relive that fab time with the Fabs every single day. With Beatles 60, you get to follow the Beatles' journey exactly as it happened 60 years ago. No spoilers, just their story unfolding day by day. Tune into our podcast where we chat with experts and people who are actually there, talking about all the big moments, and even the grotty moments, in their rise to fame. Plus, join our Facebook group to hang out with other hipsters, fans, et al. Join and discuss all things 1964. We cover so much more than the Beatles. If you're more of a Kinks fan or a Stones fan, or more into jazz or classical whatever, you'll still find these groups interesting if late 20th century history interests you. Even for those of us who remember 60 years ago, back then we didn't have all this info. I mean this vast and varied Beatles-logical literature at our fingertips, did we? No, we didn't. And no internet, just the music. We didn't follow their every move like we can now, but now we finally can. If the 60s feel like a distant memory, imagine jumping back 60 years and seeing the world, again or for the first time, as it was then. You'll get to explore the media, arts and music of that time and feel the changes and challenges people faced. Picture yourself watching, following behind the scenes daily, hearing their music just as it was, and feeling what they probably felt in the moment, not just what they later shared. In our podcast, we look back 60 years to see what the Beatles and their contemporaries were up to in that part of the year. We chat about the Fab Four's evolution and feature interviews with folks who wrote about them or were there when they hit it big. Our Facebook group tracks the Beatles' journey day by day as it happened 60 years ago. Use it as a daily reference to chat about the Beatles, sharing your thoughts and ideas on various topics. The context of the 60s is super important because the Beatles didn't exist in a bubble. Beatles 60 is for anyone curious about the real story of the Beatles and their era. We aim to give independent, unbiased insights. We look at the Beatles' impact and relevance through the eyes of those who lived through the 60s. Unlike other groups, we're not here to rank the Beatles or compare them to other artists. We want to understand how they evolved within the 60s and what lessons we can learn from their story. Join us in this journey of discovery if you're as interested as we are. Join Beatles 60 on Facebook or subscribe to our podcast to feel like you're back in the 60s with the Beatles every day. Enjoy community forums, in-depth analyses, and unique content all for free. Here's how. Follow the podcast link on Beatles60.group, choose your podcast app, and hit follow or subscribe to get our podcasts. Or click Join Group to become a member of our Facebook group. Don't miss out on this chance to relive the 60s with the Beatles every day. Join Beatles 60 now. Come on, join us.